Justice now.
Well, hello, and welcome to another broadcast of Obstruction to Justice. I'm Ann Moles, and thanks for joining. Now, Obstruction to Justice, this is where we get a chance to talk about different events, things that are going on, general information, and topics of the day, highlighting um, legislation, economics, and my favorite, small businesses. So, welcome to the broadcast today. Happy Black History Month as well. Now, we're going to be highlighting and doing some great discussions and providing some information about studying and how to get more information about and learning about Black history, African American history in the greater Kansas City area. So, we're going to kind of piggyback off what we did last week and show you more of those great images and places to go to check out some great history in the greater Kansas City, Missouri area. As well, we have a great person talking today. I tell you, this lady is just super in what she does. Our guest today is Kristen Hubbard. She is the owner of Flatland Bookkeeping LLC. Welcome, Kristen.
Hi, thank you, Anne. That's very much appreciated.
Well, shoot, thanks for joining today. And Kristen, I'm excited about you because you have a story to tell as far as about how Flatland Bookkeeping came about. And, I just commend young people just doing great things. And you guys are just brave about it. Can you tell us about how did Flatland come about?
Yes, absolutely. I'd be glad to. It's one of my favorite stories, actually. My husband and I had a son in July of 2020, and before that, I was working.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. He's a doll. He is a happy baby, so
I'm
it makes
sure
it easy
he
for us.
is. Yeah.
But so I had the 12 weeks off. I had a corporate 9 to 5, and had the 12 weeks off with him. And in having that time with him, I decided, you know, I would love to have a little bit more flexibility, but still do the job that I enjoy doing. And
Mhm.
so I had some previous employment that let me open up the world of bookkeeping to myself and learn the ins and outs of things for it. So having that and knowing how much I missed doing that, I wanted to get back to it. So that's when my husband and I had spoken and talked about, well, what about just a business? What if we do that and we help other small businesses grow themselves more? Let me do what I enjoy doing, but also give me that time and flexibility with my family. So we started up in October, and we've been slowly growing since then.
Okay. I mean, that right there, the usually the way that let's just say some businesses start just by just the need to, right? So what I'm hearing is like there was a need there, new family coming
Right.
in and you're wanting to spend more time. Now, some people think that starting a new business is more challenging, but, as far as your time is concerned, you're just wanting to be able to spend more time, and it's not as challenging as people think. Because what I'm hearing is you already had the skill set and expertise and what it is you were wanting to do with your career and everything. So that kind of made the transition easy, which is kind of an encouragement too for people who are wondering, well, what is it that I'm going to do, because some
Awesome.
people are in challenging situations. Now, how did you guys decide? I mean, being in the COVID, things are going on with the COVID, and people are being laid off and everything. Was
hmm
there some concern there that it may not go as well as you thought?
Um, Maybe a little bit. I think the bigger part of it was just that hope for the future that things are going to turn around. They're going to get better slowly but surely. I mean, the pandemic didn't necessarily happen overnight. It definitely took its time and
Mhm.
showing up, and it's still there and still making its impact. But there's a lot that I've so far I've learned that there's still a lot of people that have that ambition and that drive. They want to do things that are bigger and better than this, and they want to have that normalcy back in not only their lives but in the world. And
Mhm.
so, just the little impact of moving forward with things was kind of having that hope definitely helped. But
Mhm.
the other part of it is that I've noticed there's companies and businesses that still are surviving, and some of them are striving
Mhm.
through this because of the virtual world opening up so much. It's given them so much more opportunity in their business. It's given them a new aspect to it, and the adaptation that people are making to it is wonderful. So
Mhm.
seeing that, I guess, took away from that fear of what if it doesn't work.
Mhm.
And I guess the other part of it is just that mindset of this won't fail. There's plenty of people that have that need, and there's plenty of people that I can help benefit them and their companies, and it's just finding them and letting them know that I am out here and I can help, and I would love to help.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, here in well, I commend you too in that the statement "this won't fail." I mean, because you kind of have to go into when you're thinking about starting a business or even being in business. And I know that there's some, big big gurus, business gurus, they'll say, "Okay, well, if it's not doing this by year whatever, then it becomes a hobby and you should let it go." I'm like, but then they didn't tell you about the stories on how they failed 7
Hmm.
times, went through
Right.
bankruptcy 5 times, and they didn't give up on their dream.
Right.
So, I commend you for, continuing on, and we need that. We need
Thank you.
that tenacity in
Absolutely.
business today because look, what que sera, sera. I mean, it's what's gonna be is what's gonna be, and it's left up to us or left up, to people to decide what are you gonna do with your business. Either you're gonna hang in there, do what you need to do, and keep at it, because one thing that we do talk about now, we have a great career management class with the ASBNC training and consulting. And with that career management class, we go over, well, what is it that what would you do for free? What is it that you really enjoy doing? What have
Mhm.
you found that within your career that you want to do? Are you doing what you would like to do? So to ask those hard questions and then to be honest. And then from there, we also instruct on how to go about, well, this is what we found or discovered that the person wasn't doing what they really wanted to do. And then, okay, well, how can really want to do? That
Mhm.
right there in itself is something that is an eye-opening experience to the point to where you don't waste a lot of time and years doing things that you really don't want to do,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So here with the birth of your son and everything, your baby, hey, you come in, it's like, okay, well, hey, this is what I want to do, and I can do this. And I want to be a mom about it.
Yeah.
How many times did we hear, and I know raising my children, it's like, well, you can't be a career person and a mom too. Well, look,
Right.
life will put you in a situation to where you will be that career person
Right.
and you're
Yeah.
that mom too. What
Yes.
what can you say? So, you're right. We do have to be brave about our lives and take control and ownership of what we can do.
Hmm.
And as far as success is concerned, what you're gonna do it until it makes it, right?
Right.
uh,
Right.
Continue on until it gets to the point to where it can be self-sustaining and it's thriving to where you can reach out and bring someone else in and hire people and things like that. That's what business is all about.
Absolutely.
There was a great there's a great I have this in my office. The purpose of business is to create customers. And this is Barnett Hellsberg Jr. He says that it boils down to the whole thing about business, and is in capitalism is to create customers, right? To and you said that. Let's get out here and let people know that this is what we do, right?
Hmm.
So, and I
Yeah.
think that that's something else that businesses, small businesses in particular, have they struggle with, in that they're, well, I'm not a salesperson. Well, someone needs to be a salesperson.
Hmm.
And I believe that if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a small business and startups or whatever the case is, you have to look at, well, I need to be able to sell too. I need to be able to let people know. And selling is simply, you're right, letting people know that you're out here and
Yeah.
that you can do the job, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I commend you on that. Now,
Thank
the how would a person say, for instance, okay, well, we've already had a discussion about our books. Now, don't get me wrong, there is some order to my chaos.
you.
I
Hmm.
do have some order there, and there's a reason why it's the way it is, right? But I think that really businesses should have an accountant or and a bookkeeper, right?
Hmm.
Now, it's what's the difference between um, accounting and bookkeeping, and what is it? What would you need to? Well, let's kind of go there with that question. I'm sure you've thought about that. What's the difference between accounting and bookkeeping?
Yeah. So um, they're often used as kind of interchangeable terms,
Mhm.
and they do a lot of the same tasks for sure. But accountants have a little bit more depth to helping to prepare financials a little better, especially with like taxing. Of course, that's something that's one of my goals is towards the future because that's an area I don't have any of that experience with is tax prep and tax filing. So that's something that an accountant would have over me. They have a little bit more of that to go for them. So definitely in the future to open up more doors. I look forward to um, doing the tax prep side of things.
Okay.
So
Now, so there is a difference. The accountant would have more experience and know how to prepare for taxes. So you're doing an
yeah,
accounting based on
right.
the taxes, which you would show the IRS. You do
Mhm.
accounting based on what you'd like to see in the real books. You do accounting based on the business end of it. If you're going to get sponsors or uh, loans from a bank. So it's like you
Right.
might have 3 different sets of
Yeah.
ideas. Of course, the ultimate, a preferred way of doing and having books is to have it all the same, to where there's no, there's focus, because you have to have the tax part of it. But then, of course, the business end of it, you want to be able to do good business. Now, here, the other end is where I think the bookkeeping is important. So, as a bookkeeper in your company, what is it that you do for the customer, the client?
I mean, the typical thing to do for clients is to help to keep track of either the daily or weekly or monthly, just kind of depending on their transaction type and kind of the ins and outs of the business, and track that for them, just so that they have a real time updated look at their financials and what's going on in the business without having to spend that extra time. Because, I mean, it's hard enough to drum up business on its
Mhm.
own sometimes.
Right,
And then
because
you
we
have
talked
to,
about the sales part. You
yeah,
have to be able to sales part, and then you have to be able to manage
right, right.
the
So
receipts.
it's hard enough to do those things and then to make yourself find the time to do the things, the mundane things that you don't like to do so much or you prefer not to have to spend as much time on, which would be the bookkeeping side of things and tracking, going in and categorizing your expenses or figuring out, what goes where, reconciling the bank accounts. So those are some of the things that I do typically for those clients. But I mean, there's more opportunities for what can be done with a bookkeeper. I mean, there's been plenty of businesses that haven't done much of their bookkeeping and haven't kept up with it. So they need some cleanup work done. That's definitely a service that is offered as well, to be able to kind of look back at the books, no matter what they look like. That can be figured out. There's there's a method to madness, and I understand that's different for each individual and it's unique to every situation, but that doesn't make it impossible.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of the challenge that I enjoy is, okay, what can we do? Where can we start to fix this and put things back on track to where they do look organized and you can actually just kind of take a look and say, okay, looks good. That's how it should be. Be hands off, not worry about it, but know that it's getting done right. And well, that it's getting done in general and getting done right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. Now so how far back does your service support? So 5 years, 3 years?
I mean, it can be as many years as someone needs.
Mhm, mhm.
I'm actually part of a network that has other bookkeepers in it as well, and there's been some of them that have, upwards to 12 years that a client needs um,
Okay.
help fixing and inputting, and that's definitely doable.
Mhm. Yeah. So, I mean, because if it's not if it's not done, right away at startups. Now, that's another thing too. How what I heard you explain too is that bookkeepers also categorize
Mhm.
what expenses are for that particular business.
Right.
So when you're categorizing them, and so you actually enter the receipts
Hmm.
and manage where the different receipts and expenses go, and using that and what it is that you're doing. What do you use now? There's a couple of options that there's some new options where you save it online. You can use an online piece of software. You can use downloaded software. What is it? Different There's different. I don't want to plug any one particular type of software, but what's popular. I think maybe QuickBooks is popular. And what software do you recommend? And what software do you recommend? Or not so much for sales. I mean, people can you choose what you like is the point. Okay, use what you feel comfortable doing, but this is just for information purposes. So, just to inform people and customers, potential clients, what someone who wants to get started, which one would you use? It's so many to choose from.
There is, and it can definitely be kind of overwhelming to see the options and then read what you see and wonder, okay, well, how am I supposed to know which one's going to work best?
Mhm,
For me, QuickBooks Online is definitely it's beneficial and a lot of aspects for it. So that's my preferred platform. There's also ones, like 1-800 Accountant and Zero. I mean, there's different things out there that can be used. But I like the ease of use for QuickBooks and the options that it has for clients. So that one's definitely probably would be my top pick.
mhm. Top pick,
But
yeah, QuickBooks, and it's a standard. I think it's kind of an industry standard. People, are
mhm,
familiar with QuickBooks. They probably already have used the QuickBooks themselves when the desktop installed app, and now
right.
it's online. So, what if a client has an older version of? They don't really want to put their stuff out there online. What would you? How would you work with that client?
Well, the plus side to that is that remote services can be done as well. Um, with it being on desktop, it would have to require that that business owner is, at their computer at the time to be able to remote in, to allow that remote access
Sure,
to take
sure,
place
yeah.
and work in it that way. Whereas QuickBooks Online kind of gives you the convenience. You can allow the accountant access. You can limit what is done, what they can do in and out of it, and then you don't have to be bothered every time that they need to get in and do anything with the books or take a look at things. Um, and then you don't have to ask permission to say, hey, I need this fixed or to do this or, whatever the case may be. And so it just, that's where I think QuickBooks Online has a win over the desktop
Mhm,
and doing the remote service. Now, if as we stated earlier, serving the greater Kansas City area, if it were somewhere that's local, that could definitely be worked out to go into the office to help with that. I mean, that's not something that's out of the realm of possibilities either.
Mhm.
Um, as
Mhm.
long as people, like we talked about, also the COVID thing makes people a little bit more
Yeah,
uncomfortable with
yeah,
that option. So,
yeah. Business has changed a bit. Now,
yes.
okay. I'm now these receipts here. I don't know. I'm not even gonna dig in them. I get them going here, and I'm like, okay, they're there for when I need to get them. Okay, what do I do with them? Do I scan them in myself, Kristen? What do I do?
You could do that. Um, you could definitely do that. Or actually, QuickBooks also has an app on your that you can download on your smartphone, and you can take pictures of receipts, and you can categorize it and label them where they need to go that way also. So yeah, I mean that's quite a you've
Quite a
got
haul. Yeah.
at least got
So,
a method there. It looks like.
well, I have them in one spot. And, so yeah, that but you're right. I forgot about the picture. So you just take your mobile phone and you would get a snapshot of the, receipt, and it'll send it on up to QuickBooks. Super.
Yes, it
That's a
does.
I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm one. I know I'm sold on your service there. It's just a matter of time to what is it that I'm gonna do to get things going here for sure. Now, you are out there on, let's see, you're on LinkedIn, aren't you?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay. Let me go out here. I'm gonna go out here and we're gonna check out your LinkedIn
Mhm.
page here.
Okay.
Yeah. See, QuickBooks Pro Advisor virtual bookkeeping. Yeah. Now I noticed that you're in, now we've had a discussion on this. I say Osawatomie. Osawatomie. Now,
Yep.
is that right, Kristen? Is it Osawatomie?
It depends. It
Okay.
can also be pronounced Osawatomie. So the way that I tell people is Osawatomie, but there are a lot of um, locals that do say Osawatomie. So
Mhm.
like we talked about, it's just kind of varies person to person.
Okay.
There's
Now,
reason behind the Osawatomie.
yes, yes, there is. See, Osawatomie is how I learned it because Osawatomie is the name of a Native American uh, tribe here
Right.
in America. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the name of a Native American tribe, Osawatomie. But the it's the song, Kristen, the song. When we learned it, it was the different Native Americans. It's a song
Yep.
about Native Americans, I believe, that were here and what they gave, and can we give more? I remember that part of the song. It may
Right.
even, I don't know, maybe a Daniel Boone song. I mean, I'm dating myself here, but Osawatomie or Osawatomie,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas. Yeah,
Right.
so you are part of the greater Kansas City, Missouri area. Yeah, so
South a
that's
little bit for sure.
mhm,
Definitely south of there, but yes.
mhm. Yeah, so they can, if they're needing to get in contact with you for bookkeeping services, how would they do that?
Well, they can do that through LinkedIn. I believe my contact information is on there. Also through Facebook. I do have a personal page under my name, Kristen Hubbard. And there's also a Facebook page for Flatline Bookkeeping LLC. So either
Okay.
one of those, my contact information is also on the Flatline Bookkeeping page. So either message or phone call, either one. Um,
Okay.
and if you email, that also works as well. And I can send the calendar link, and we can do a virtual face to face, as the world has come to now. So
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
many options.
Yeah, shout out to LinkedIn there. They changed their flag, or actually their icon. It has red, black, and green in the
Oh,
background.
very
Now,
cool.
that is
I
that is
mean,
the African American flag. That's the
right,
colors of the African American flag. Red,
That's
black, and green.
wonderful.
I saw that. I almost fell out. I'm like, oh my goodness. Folks are just going there, and
Yeah.
embracing the multicultural, rich multiculture
Yes.
of America. And that's super. That's super. Great picture
It
there,
is.
too. So,
Thank you.
yeah, definitely. Let's see here. So the contact info, I don't know if it's popping up, but looks like the email, you can email Miss Kristen at Kristen, Christen, Hubbard, Hubbard, 2015 at gmail.com. And also, she has a LinkedIn contact information there as well. Now, I only said that, Kristen, because that's for our podcast listeners.
Hmm.
So, if I show it, they are like, oh, well, what is it? Well, let me just say
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And definitely Kristen Hubbard there. Now, there is another, I'm going to go out here and see what is going on. Okay, so it looks like there is. Um, we're going to go out and I want to check out. There's a link out here that we've been enjoying, which was set up by the government of Kansas City, Missouri government. Now, this was big business back in the day, Miss Kristen.
Hmm.
So, big business back in the day. We're going to do an overview of some history here, and I want to share this. Let's see. Yeah. So this is some history here in the greater Kansas City, Missouri area, which of course you are a part of as
Hmm.
well. And let's let me see, make sure I'm showing it. Okay, so I am showing it. The Eblond Theater. Now the Eblond Theater is, see, you can see that as a picture there. It's was a theater that was constructed in 1922 as a venue for vaudeville and motion pictures. So that's a long time ago, 1922. It was
Hmm.
designed by architect Paul L. Anthony, and the structure seated 1,000 people and was faced with a Spanish colonial facade. And at its opening in 1923, the Kansas City Call remarked that nothing has been spared to make this the finest motion picture house for colored people in this part of the country. And uh, and innovative amenities included restrooms, uniformed ushers, and an overhead cooling system. The Eblond Orchestra. Now, this is what I found interesting. The Eblond Orchestra broadcast each week from the theater on local radio stations. So that's some big history there as far as
Right.
music.
Yeah.
Live music over the air, radio, live music back in the day. And
Wow.
Bill, later known as Count Basie, was the house organist for silent films. Basie, who came to Kansas City on the black vaudeville circuit, was left stranded in 1927 when the act that he had brought him was disbanded. So he found himself stuck here for a while.
Oh no.
Count Basie. Yeah. Now that vaudeville, that's kind of a slapstick sort of it's a show. They used to do
Mhm.
live shows back in the day. Of course, we
Yeah.
have videos and all kinds of movies and
Everything at our
different
fingertips now.
everything now. But yeah, so that is the building there, and they're provide preserving these buildings. It's a nice structure. Now that Spanish uh, architecture, that's not unusual to the Kansas City, Missouri area. The Country
Right.
Club Plaza was designed on a Spanish Moor architecture as well. So that is some history there in that, it wasn't we have the French architecture and all different types of architecture, but the Spanish Moor was definitely a significant architecture in that it was Afrocentric, with the Moors being from Africa, there in North Africa. So, yeah, the Eblond Theater. And this one other one here, the Fire Station number 11. Fire Station number 11. Let's see if we're getting that here. I just have to double check, make sure I'm getting it. Yeah. Now, this is an actual fire station that was the African American fire station in the African American community, the first African American fire company in Kansas City. It was established in 1890. The first permanent location was at a newly built fire station at 1309 Independence. In 1908, a new station was built at 1812 Vine Street in the heart of the 18th Vine Street district. And the station stayed at this location until 1931 when they moved to 2033 Vine Street. And the company stayed at this location until 1977.
Wow.
Wow. So it ran for from 1931 to 1977, that fire station was there. And when the station was closed as part of the citywide consolidation and update of the stations, okay, so it closed, but they updated the different stations. After its closing, the building became the headquarters of the Black Archives of Mid America, Inc., founded only a few years before by Horace M. Peterson III, and the fire station was listed on the Kansas City Register of Historic Places on April 4th, 2009.
How
Yeah,
cool
so
is that?
we're going to be learning more about the Black Archives. That's where there's a lot of historical art artifacts where it's housed, and a lot of African American history is housed at the Black Archive. So we're probably going to be able to chat with someone from the Black Archives. I don't want to give it away, but
Oh, that would be
it's
so neat.
coming up here. It is. It's going to be real exciting. So yeah, that those two places, African American Heritage Trail. And I just give big kudos, big shout outs to the city of Kansas City, Missouri for setting
Yeah,
that up.
absolutely.
For sure, for sure. Now, as far as your the flatland bookkeeping, what what do you see as far as what do you see happening in the future with different bookkeeping styles? Right now, we had just shared how you can take a picture of your receipt and upload
Mhm.
it and make it happen. But what are you looking forward to the industry, where it's going? What's going on with it? How's it going?
Um, Being newer to it, I have a lot to look forward to, I guess.
Mhm,
So I just think that it's amazing how many small businesses are started in the even in the country
mhm,
each year. I don't remember the number for sure, but it was either 2 million or 2 billion. I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me. But there's a lot of businesses that start up, and that being said, a lot of people aren't going to
okay. I think we're
to do
we're
the,
okay.
the bookkeeping part of it.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think you're going in and out, Miss Kristen. Let's see here. Let's see if she's gonna come back. This is live. It is live streamed, but this is kind of what happens when it comes to technology, guys. Yeah, yeah. So let me just go ahead, and we're gonna wait for her to come on back and to get back in. Now, another thing about the bookkeeping, and I would just encourage Oh, are we back?
Is it
Yay.
back? Are we
Yes,
good?
yes, we're
Sorry.
good. I see you. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that another thing about bookkeeping, you're right. There's a lot of startup businesses and businesses, small businesses that start up every year, but bookkeeping is super important, guys. You don't want it to get out of hand. You just don't want it to get out of hand like that. So there's always going to be, I believe there's going to be always a need for a bookkeeper. Now, I don't, as far as pricing, maybe that people think that there's a lot of people that are do-it-yourselfers,
Mhm.
right? Uh, but what I see is, as far as your time, what's your hourly rate? Yeah, not so much for you,
Right.
Flatland,
Right.
mm,
Yeah.
but what's the hourly rate for that person, that business
Right.
owner, as opposed to them taking the service and letting your company do the service? I mean, they're going to be freed up.
Yeah, how
And
much do you value your time? What is it worth to you?
Mhm,
What do you wish that your time could go towards rather than sitting through the headache of trying to figure out how you should categorize things, deductions, tax filings,
mhm,
sales tax filings, things like that. I mean,
mhm.
it comes down to kind of the convenience is key. What is it worth? And is it worth having someone else do it for you for that peace of mind and for that stress relief and that
Mhm.
time relief.
Sure. And if you're going to be in business, then be in business is the point too. You want to be able to see how well that month. Now, I'm just kind of joking with my receipts down here, but you want to be able to see how well you did in that month. Even being a small business in that, if you just have a few clients in that month, you want to be able to see it, and then that hour, 2 hours or 3 hours, it seems like there's nothing less than it seems like everything I have to do takes at least 3 hours to do.
Mhm.
So, if
Right.
it's 3 hours, if I could free up 3 hours in my week, what is that worth to me? It
Yep.
would be definitely worth the services. And, being a young entrepreneur, I think that that's exciting, because in America, what are we looking at? There's a lot going on. And we want to
Right.
encourage our young people to continue on and not be so fearful in what's happening in the world, but make the life that you're wanting. Yeah. So you're an example of that. And that's super, super, super cool. I definitely appreciate that. Now, next week, guys, I believe we're going to be sharing and getting. There's another young person, young and at heart in it, but there's another guy that is going to be coming on, and he is pretty exciting, Mr. Kareem Jackson. Shout out! He's an author, publisher, and business development uh, guru. So that's what we kind of focus on. We want to know, that's the pulse of America, I believe.
Hmm.
There's a lot going on, entrepreneurs, and we know manufacturing it we're great to have as far as manufacturing, but you'll always need someone to handle those books. You'll always need someone to handle those books. So
Right.
yeah, we're gonna definitely keep you in mind for it, and to encourage you. I'd encourage you. You want to get with a good bookkeeper, contact Kristen, and she will definitely help with your books and keep you on track. Keep
Mhm.
you on track to where you won't have to hold up a box of receipts and embarrass yourself. You don't want to do that.
Yep.
For sure. Well, big shout out to you, Miss Kristen. We're
Thank
gonna uh, we're gonna transition here to now. There, just to kind of give an update, guys, on the 2 seconds, Miss Kristen. Give an update on the scholarship fund for the ASBNC tutoring program that we have, that we are taking part in to help young people. So the scholarship fund, the Fun and Learning Scholarship Fund Mobile Tutor Project, It does provide sponsorships and scholarships for non-for-profit organizations that provide tutor learning support for kids grades K through 12. So there are ways where you can support the project. You can go out to the asbnc.com/fun and learning link site there at the website, and you can just give a donation, and that donation goes towards kids that are needing extra tutoring. There's a lot going on. Kids are falling through the cracks and not getting and staying up with their studies, and these nonprofits go out and help in that they provide a safe environment for the kids to hang out and to get their work done. Now, kids have already been falling in the cracks there as far as some of learning and being not being able to say their know their ABCs and count and read small words. So with that, the tutor, especially with the first, second, third graders, we really are hammering that in to help the students so that they don't get discouraged, because we've been seeing a lot of that going on too, in that kids will get to be a certain grade, and then they just have blow ups because they still can't read, they still can't write on that, and be able to write accurately and read small words. So we do work volunteers. They work with students in reading and comprehension and STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. So you can go out to the website, and if you want to donate through one of the nonprofit organizations, that linked information is out there as well. So definitely go out and just be a support, just to uh, what you would use for a cup of joe or going wherever. I'm not going to say, hey, take this kind of money and take it away from here and then go give it to there. But we do a lot with money, and sometimes it's a good idea to take advantage and share in giving back to young people in their communities. Because probably by the time your little one, Miss Kristen, gets in kindergarten, you're going to have your desk and then their desk over
Yep.
here. Huh? Pretty
Oh
much.
yeah. Yep.
I mean, they've been doing snow days. Shout out to the school districts around the greater Kansas City, Missouri area. You guys have been hanging in there, but snow days are a little different now, though.
Right.
Here, they're a
Right.
little different. They're not shut down. They can still get online and get work done.
Right.
So I think that one thing that's coming out of this situation, the pandemic, etc., is that the young people are seeing light in a different way, to where there's no snow days. You still are logged in. You still are having
Yeah.
to go out there and learn, and it's
Well,
cold outside.
yes. And especially a shout out to those moms that have taken on that homeschooling role, because
Mm,
busy moms as it is, to become teachers, is a tough hat to wear. I mean, women wear many hats as it is, and I've definitely learned in the last 7 months that being a mom is a whole different world. As it's a blessing, of course,
yes,
but
yes.
it does come with its struggles, just like owning a business too. I mean, that aspect, it's not for the weak at heart.
No, it
But
isn't.
going, and it's one of those, it's one of those things, this will not fail. But
No.
those moms that take that on, especially with, 2+ kids,
Mhm.
that's a struggle, and
Yeah.
props to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Well
And
done.
we actually sponsor. We have several families where we sponsor too, and provide the learning environment. Whatever they're needing, chairs, little tables. We've sponsored those,
Very cool.
supplies, things like that. So that because the parent is already challenged,
Yes.
because what can she do, especially if she's a single person. So
Absolutely.
it's a lot to think about and a lot to go on. But it will pass. You know, they don't stay kids forever, guys. They do grow up. Big shout out to my baby. She is today's her birthday, so I'll let
Oh,
her tell you. Yeah, Miss Simone, precious Simone.
happy
Uh,
birthday, Simone.
Johnson is yeah. So big shout out to you, Miss Simone. Happy birthday to you.
My mom has
And
a birthday on Friday. She'll turn 50.
oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great age, I tell you. 50
Yep.
is cool. I enjoy it. And you know, any and nowadays any birthday you have is a good it's a good
Absolutely.
day. It's a
Absolutely.
good day. We learn to appreciate all of life and what opportunities we have just to
Yes.
live and to continue on. Yeah, but big shout out to you, Miss Kristen, and Flatland Bookkeeping LLC. I know it's gonna take off. It's already taking off because you're here. You know, you're doing the steps. You're letting them know that if they're needing a good bookkeeping service, they can definitely contact you. Big ups to all the Facebookers and the YouTubers and the Twitchers and everyone else that's out there too, podcasters. Just appreciate you supporting just by listening and hanging in there with us. Um, and just take care about it. Take care about it. It's the winter time. Oh my goodness, I do have to mention, you know, big shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, I tell you, we haven't had back to back Super Bowl efforts ever at all here recently, you know. So at
Yeah.
least we got there. And you guys hold your head up because you guys did great just by showing up, you know, just by showing up, and we appreciate you and glad you're home safe and it'll be another year. Get well,
Very
get
well.
healed, do all of what you need to do, guys, because there's a lot of work to be done next year. Next year.
Agreed.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch the game?
We did. Yep. We did.
Yeah. Yeah, I did have my little crying out. Oh.
Oh. I imagine a lot of people might have.
I was frustrated. I got a little frustrated, but you know, they made it home safe
I
and
yell at one of the two. It was probably a toss up on who did what.
mhm, mhm. A lot going on there. All right, then. Well, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to be through with it today, but we're going to invite you back because
Okay.
tax season is coming up, guys. Woo, woo.
It
Tax
is. It
season
is
is
upon
coming
us.
up. And Miss Kristen is available. She's available to help you get things in order. Give a big shout out to her. You need her. Go out there on LinkedIn. Kristen, Christen Hubbard, Hubbard, with Flatland Bookkeeping, and she will help you get ready to go. So where you can file those taxes and win.
Yes, and keep running smoothly from there on out.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
Well,
Well,
thank you
guys,
so much for having me.
you are welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we're going to look forward to you coming back. We'd love to have you back, and yeah, some I'm sure some things are going to come up, especially after tax season. You
Yep.
know what could have been what they could have done better to get that be ready for them. Those tax
Yes.
people, darn it. Thank you so much, and
Absolutely.
thank you for joining another broadcast here, Obstruction to Justice. And take care, and we'll see you next time. Obstruction now to justice. Obstruction now. Obstruction to justice. Obstruction to justice. Obstruction to justice. Justice now.